Guerrilla Cinema, back, another dish. How we doing out there? Good, great, Yan. Yeah, Yan, wonderful. Why are you here? Why? This is the worst. This may be the worst piece of media in the history of the medias. It certainly is the worst podcast in the history of podcasts. I mean, from top to bottom. Poorly ran, poorly executed, poor quality. And if you saw how I got down, you'd be ashamed of yourself. Wait a minute, no, you'd be ashamed of me, not of yourself. Idiot. It's true. Like, I guess until I see money for doing this, I am not putting money into this any more than I do. $20 a month so that it's broadcast in the necessary places. That is going to be my output. Anyway, as you see on your screen, your dial, however you are unfortunately choosing to join me today, well, if I did Demons, it was only fitting that I was going to go do Demons 2, but I'm going to tell you right now I'm not going to do Demons 3. That was initially supposed to be a trilogy that never was, or was it? You be the judge. Anyway, Demons 2, if you listen to the last episode, Demons is one of my favorite horror films out of Italy. And it's really due to part the practical effects and how outlandish the last 30 minutes of it are. And, of course, it takes place in a movie theater. Who does not like that? If you are a cinephile, I think that we are always, you know, if there's sequences that take place, the most recent one I can think of is like when the creature in the shape of water is in the movie theater and, you know, seeing a film for the first time, you know, like it's just whatever, it's cool. So there's that too, but mainly for the batshit insane effects and how gross, gory, and it's just everybody's frothing at the mouth and there's gurgling and there's it's very wet. It's a very wet film, these two films, but Demons is one of my favorite just 80s horror film. I'm not going to say it's one of my favorite horror films of all time. It is. I can put it on almost any time and enjoy myself. It's a good party flick to have playing in the background, so on and so forth. Anyway, Demons 2. Well, you know, they can't all be winners. You know, and it's not like this one was bad. It's just there was something about the first, whether, you know, the mere meta fact that what was going on inside the theater was also happening on screen, just, you know, a little differently. There's just, I don't know what it was, because this one, when you take a step back and you look at it on paper, and I watched it, I cannot remember if I saw it. I just watched Demons 2 the other day. I've seen Demons probably fucking 20 times, 30 times. But Demons 2, I had not, and I feel like I have seen this one, and I don't know, it must have slipped my mind. Like, I feel like I'm mixing a couple films together that's making me think that I had seen it. I don't know. Maybe I watched, it's like a Night of the Demons, maybe. I don't know. It's something with a birthday party in it. I'm pretty sure it's Night of the Demons where it starts out with a birthday party. I could be wrong. Sean, you're an idiot. Get your facts straight. Nope. I'm telling you I'm probably wrong. Anyway, on paper, this should be a good one because you are confined throughout the entire film. For the most part, we see some random, I don't know, we tried to duplicate some shit from the first, but we didn't carry, like, there was no follow through with it. Like, it just made no sense to me anyway. And for those of you that have seen Demons 2, I'm talking about the 4 rebels that they duplicated in the car from the first film. You know, not the same people, but basically the exact same vibes. And there was a lot of meta going on, which is fine, but there was no follow through with that storyline. So, whereas the other one, at least they became a part of the, I don't know, you tell me. Anyway, so Demons 2 on paper, you would think, oh, this should be good because, you know, it takes part in an apartment complex. And it also picks up where the world is aware that the demons had existed, but they're gone now. So we're not necessarily told how far in the future it is, but the characters are aware of the demons. So what they try to replicate from the first is, instead of, this creepy man giving you a ticket to the theater, there's a TV show on, and it's basically George and whatever her name was, Nancy. No, that wasn't her. Cheryl. Cheryl was her name. George and Cheryl's endeavors after the fact, because it ends with them riding on a Jeep and the world is in chaos. And we try to replicate some of those things, which the TV thing was fine. I didn't mind that, but I don't know. There was just something about it. It's almost like we hinged everything on the gusto of the first, and we're not, because the practical effects in this were good. I mean, dude, you get to see a child turn into a demon, which is awesome, because people nowadays, well, maybe they wouldn't care. I don't fucking know. Maybe back then they cared. It was a big deal. I can't keep up with what's acceptable and what isn't anymore. But I do see maybe, the Karens of the world, if they're not upset with the fact that a little boy turns into a demon, they will most certainly be upset with the fact that at one point during or after the boy has transformed, he just starts seizing and falls to the ground, and then a baby demon comes out of his back. Splits his chest open. Splits his chest cavity open and comes out his fucking chest, and it's a little fucking gremlin looking, it's a hand puppet, practical effect, puppeteering demon that comes out of his chest. So there are parts in this that are really fucking cool. But having said that, I almost felt like we tried to weave everyone's storyline together, but we just didn't do it successfully. We just kind of didn't give a shit. There was not enough build up for the characters for it to be properly executed. Not to say that you go to a horror film because you want character development, but I'm getting old, ladies and gentlemen. You know what I'm saying? And here's the thing. If I saw this 20 years ago, and I probably did, but if I saw this 20 years ago, I'd have been like, that movie was fucking wild. And it is. But one, I did this as a double feature because it was Synapse special limited edition, Demons 1 and 2. And I, of course, had to do Demons 1, followed immediately by Demons 2. And I guess 1, I don't know if there's some nostalgia with me, but Demons is infinitely better than Demons 2, and Demons 2 isn't a terrible movie. That's what's fucked up about it. That's how you know how much I love the first one, is that this one, as a horror film, there's not a whole lot wrong with it. It has everything with the exception of, I don't think there's any boobs, because, that's a you got to have that, as Joe Bob says, as a standard. Or maybe it's just drive-in films. But It has all the gore. It has, senseless violence. You have return characters playing different characters, like Bobby Rhodes is back for this one. The guy who played, was his name Tony? I think he's fucking Hank in this one. Yeah, he's like a gym instructor, kind of takes control a little bit before a demon rips his dick off. And, you have these return, one of the fucking, the main cokehead in Demons 1 that's riding around in the car, he's in this again. I think he's like a hotel security or something like that, and promptly murdered. And so there's some fun shit in here for sure. I really, really like Demons. That's the only way that I can describe it to you, because there's nothing, for the most part, there's nothing wrong with Demons 2 as a horror film. There really isn't. I don't know if, another thing that was kind of strange too, so George and Cheryl were our main character names in Demons 1, but now it's George and Hannah. And it's almost like, well, if you're going to have the main character named George, well, just name her Cheryl again. Like, you can confuse me. I don't give a fuck. Oh, no, these are two different George and Cheryls. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's fine with me. In fact, it's kind of cool. It's kind of cool. Oh, yes, this is George and Cheryl, but they're completely different George and Cheryls. They just happen to be together. Because if you remember from Demons, the George and Cheryl weren't together. They met at the fucking theater. But they are now because, it was a relationship born under duress. So, which I can tell you does not work out well. I have firsthand knowledge if it does not work out well. You say dumb shit, and you're both of you are feeling vulnerable for each other, and then now you move forward, and now one of you doesn't have respect for each other because one of you went too far in revealing yourself during these stressful times, the duress of which it was born under, and it just never ends well. I'm telling you, just listen. All you need to do in a relationship, you just need to listen. Outside that, keep your mouth shut, because even if you do talk and say how you feel, chances are they're going to spin it anyway. So just nod your head, smile, and if you can't take it anymore, just leave silently. I'm telling you, this is the best way to do it, because we live in a world now, it doesn't even matter if you're 100% right. It does not matter. So, yeah. George and Cheryl born under duress, or the relationship born under duress. Oh, my goodness. The mind wanders sometimes. Anywho, there's, what else is there? All the practical effects are back. I mean, Sergio Stivoletti's back. Lamberto Bava's back as the director. Argento came back as a writer. They had Franco Ferrini added for this one. Claudio Simonetti did the music again, which, again, like the music and it's just we leaned so heavily on what worked for the first that it was just like, oh, well, if you're gonna make it a fucking, so instead we're just changing location. Okay, I think I mentioned this in the first podcast. So this is a little brief thing that we can explore. In the first one, none of the demons talk. At least I'm pretty sure none of the demons. All the movies run together, and it just I average like 2 new movies a day recently, and the shit. If you mix that with all the images that you see on your phone, and then what I do also for a living is staring at a screen and interacting, it's too much, bro. I gotta figure out how to unplug without twitching, and I'm not necessarily sure that I know how to do that, but I mean, I guess the only way, you just rip the Band-Aid off. Anyway, where was I? Oh, so Demons 1, none of them talk. And they certainly don't talk to dupe unsuspecting victims. In this one, the first time that we hear a demon talk is actually George's pregnant gal, Hannah. She's all locked up because chaos is, of course, ensuing in the apartment complex. The demons are loose in the apartment complex. Gets a knock on the door, and please help me. My parents are gone, and I'm scared. Please help me. And we know it's the kid because we had seen him running around knocking on doors trying to evade the demons. Nobody was answering their doors either because they weren't going to open the door, or they themselves are now fucking demons. So anyway, he can't get in. But help me. My parents are gone. I can't. And she opens the door, but she keeps the chain lock on. She opens the door, the kid's a demon. Kid's a goddamn demon. Great makeup, too. Great face makeup, great teeth, I can't believe they got either, like, to wear those fucking contact lenses, especially back then. Oof, that shit, like, it's like putting a fucking, they don't make the effects for like stuff. Well, now you would never even put contacts in, you would just do it digitally, but like the ones that they were wearing, but Jesus Christ, like those things are putting like fucking dinner plates in your eyes. Anywho, So case in point, just like little things for me that I'm like, I wish we wouldn't have. It's the talking thing. So none of the demons communicated. None of the demons like tried to dupe. If anything, the only like hiding of sorts that they did was like they didn't reveal their face. Like anytime that somebody like an unsuspecting victim were to walk up on a demon, it's always because they're walking up from behind them and they don't see their face, and then they turn around, and it's, whatever, death. But no talking. So now in this one, out of nowhere, he talks. We got a talking demon, and that's the only one that talks. The fucking the demon spawn that busts through the fucking kid's chest cavity does some squealing that I gotta be honest. After a certain point, I was just like, this is too much. This is too much fucking. It's a squeal, and it's relentless. And it's almost like Bava and Argento will be like, that's fine. No, you're not Christopher Nolan showing, how horrific war was by making the bullet sounds very uncomfortable when you're in theater. You guys remember that one? I went under fire because Dunkirk was too loud. Grow the fuck. Oh, my God. We live in a world. We live in a world where someone said the movie theater was too loud. What? You're there for a war film. For a fucking war film, dude. You're bitching about how loud it is. Every time the gunshots went off, it made me cringe and I was uncomfortable. Yeah. Imagine being there. And that's what Christopher Nolan was trying to do. So anyway, the squealing in this, though, from the demon spawn, God fucking damn it. It's too much. Too much. Like, I kept on, like, turning it down. And that's how you know you're getting old because, like, no, goddammit. Sometimes you can, in this case, like, we went to the well on how uncomfortable the squealing of this demon spawn is. When we could have it's straight out of Gremlins, too. And now that I think about it, no, I think Gremlins came just before this. But it is very Gremlin-esque, the way that the kind of like the chase ensues around the apartment with this little demon spawn. Fucking Spike. Goddamn Spike that just busts through the fucking chest cavity of a little child. What else did I like in this? There's got to be something I liked in this. Reality. When Sally is celebrating her birthday, then that's just hilarious. We got some of the most white dancing I've seen in a... Nope, that's not true. I just got done with fucking 6, because not all of them had it. 6 films of the whitest dance. It was so white, it made me feel racist. There are parts in these movies nowadays where I'm just like, oh, man, that is some unevolved folk right there. It's the 80s. I didn't know. It's the 50s. Yeah, I get it, but doesn't mean you had to have hate in your heart because somebody had different colored skin. We're not doing this. As her friends present Sally her cake, so how this one starts, neither than I can figure it. No one gets cut. The TV show that they're watching that's depicting the events that happened in the first film, only with different actors playing. See, it's like meta, right? And at one point, a zombie stops mid-frame and sees one of the viewers, who in this particular case is Sally, who's having a birthday party being loud, sees Sally and crawls through the television, and that's how this whole thing starts. So, a little bit different from the first, even though the first and how it started is unclear, even though Nostradamus may have been involved. I don't know. Just like, okay, I get like maybe there's just certain you have to commit to the world. But in this particular sense, I was like, well, but the last one, it started through like blood, right? Essentially. And this one starts because there was no one left to kill on the TV screen. so the demons can come through the TV and start chaos. Hey, I don't know, man. I just work here. Now, let's be real about something. The effects of the demon coming through the TV, pretty goddamn good. You know, it's very Ring-esque, well before the Ring, or Ringu, whichever one you prefer, the Japanese or the fucking American remake with Naomi What's her name? It's Naomi is her name. So yeah, it starts like that. I mean, it looks cool, but plot-wise, I was just, what are we doing now? Obviously, and this comes before the kid talking, so that happens, and I'm like, oh, that's how this starts, this one. And then, you know, later in the film, the kid's talking, I'm like, what do we, can it be through, like, the blood fucking, like the last one? Why is it just like everyone's collectively watching a TV show about demons, and it has enough power to raise the demon from the dead? Oh, I know. This is why it started, and it totally makes sense. So within the television show, one of the people cuts themselves and raises a demon from the dead. So apparently in this show, they've killed all the demons. This is how it ended, and this is the normal life that outside the TV screen, right? Meta, that our characters are experiencing. This world is over, so they did handle the business and do the demons. But one of the characters cuts themselves, and naturally the blood falls right into a decomposing demon's mouth, because of course, and then it reanimates, which is actually a really cool fucking practical effects sequence. Again, like I said at the top of the hour, I said it. We hinged on everything that made the first one work, but it almost like we leaned on it too much, like the practical effects being the number one thing that we hinged on. But the transformation sequence, or reanimation, if you will, of the demon coming back to life, pretty fucking strong. But now, wait a minute. So in the TV show, which is supposed to be fake, she cuts herself, brings the demon back to life, mind you, and now the demon comes through the TV and starts hell. Yeah, you know, sometimes you just gotta suspend disbelief, because it's, even in hearing myself out loud say that, it kind of makes my brain hurt. What else? Unfortunately, there was no dirt bike and samurai sword in this, but boy, did we have a fucking John McClane shot, if I've ever seen one, with his George's ripped up t-shirt, and showing his biceps and his fucking his repelling rope, and it's, anyway. So the claustrophobia of being in the movie theater, cool. You would think it would work in the apartment, but if we started with a smaller space, you see what I'm getting at, and then we go to an apartment complex, well, naturally this one somehow gets fucking not cemented in like the first one, but everybody gets locked in on this one. It's just, you know. So I definitely recommend seeing it for the practical, just see the practical effects for how things used to look. It was just so much more, and I know it makes me sound like an old fuck, but let me say it a different perspective, not an old fuck. Wouldn't you think, let me ask you a question. Wouldn't you think that if we have makeup on a real person and we can sell it scary or fantasy or whatever we're trying to sell, whatever character we're trying to sell, wouldn't you think it would be more impacting looking at the person than a completely computer-generated image? Don't you think you'd be able to take the real-life person who has rubber and effects and da-da-da-da on them, and they're all painted up, talking to you here in your face? Don't you think that resonates more than a computer-generated image doing perhaps the same things? It's just my opinion. I don't think I'm old or young or whatever. That yes, being able to touch it makes me think that, you know, I believe in it. I can touch it. I can feel it. You hear me? So, and that's why I can watch movies like this all day. Like, I mean, it kind of sounds like I've been negative, but thing number one, this double disc release from Synapse Films, the special limited edition. I mean, it's got the bonus features for just Demons 2 is the Demons Generation. Roy Bava discusses a legacy and lacerations, creating creature carnage, an interview with Sergio Stivoletti, the guy who did the special makeup effects, screaming for a sequel, The Delirious Legacy of Demons 2 with Lamberto Bava, a soundtrack for Splatter, interview with composer Simon Boswell. Oh no, so Claudio did not come back for this one. I apologize, fact-checking myself. Son of a bee. Wouldn't you know it? Together and Apart, a new visual essay on the use of space and technology in Demons and Demons 2 by author and critic Alexandra Heller Nicholas. That was actually a really good one. Some of the stuff I was like, well, yeah. But I would say it's almost 30 minutes long. I would say half of it I was like, oh, that's very interesting. I don't think that we need to dig this deep philosophically into Demons 1 and 2, but I'm happy that I'm here, I'm happy that I'm listening to it. And the other half I went, well, yeah, of course. Why I ain't stupid, you say. I am, that's the problem. Original Italian and English theatrical show. Nobody cares about those trailers. I mean, I don't even condone watching trailers. I get up and walk out of theaters when trailers to movies that I know I'm going to see start to play. Why would I do that? Why would I? I don't need a hint of anything. I need a hint of a fucking anything. Oh, new Marvel movie? Okay, I'm gonna walk outside. Oh, Tom Hardy's gonna be in a new movie? I'm gonna walk outside. Oh, fucking Christopher Nolan's doing a new movie? I'm gonna walk outside. In fact, I think all trailers should just be a black screen with white lettering of the title of the movie. Every single one of them. All right. Synapse Films, double disc, special limited edition. And if you're not into the physical media, but you want to buy it, but you're unsure because you haven't seen it, I believe both of these are streaming on Prime right now. I could be 100% wrong because I don't research that. I buy physical media for stuff like this. Period. I'm not watching bonus features on an app. I mean, I love Arrow, and they got that Arrow player, and you can do that. Same with Criterion Collection. You can watch the supplements and everything, but that's something about that just don't make me... And I know that I'm stupid. Like, there's no point. But as long as that we have these disc players to play these discs, well, you gotta. So, Demons 2. I liked it. It's not Demons 1, but it almost behoove you to see Demons 2 if you're going to see Demons 1. And good news, both of them are 90 minutes or less, so you could see 2 films for the price of a Marvel runtime. Ellis Cinema, Synapse Films, Demons 1 and 2, limited edition. Got the 4K too. Demons 2, Ellis Cinema. How we come.